This is a quick tutorial about finding and using the safety data sheets for this assignment. If you click on this link, it will take you to this database or a place where you can search for the name of your molecule or substance. And when you click enter, it'll give you a bunch of different results. So each different company that produces this product has to have its own data sheet, but they'll be almost identical from one another. So I usually just pick a recent one that comes up near the top of the list. And what you're going to get is this SDS preview, not the actual complete data sheet. So scroll past all this. Just a quick introduction to these icons. The skull and crossbones means it's poisonous. The human with the star means the molecule is cancerous. And this little icon with the tree and a looks like a dead fish in it is that has environmental toxicity. You need to click on this view SDS and select English for it to open the whole PDF file for you. All right, so it's got the company that this is from at the top, and then it's quite long. This one is 9 pages, and the LD50 is towards the end of that. So I'm just going to briefly go over where you can find the information about what types of toxicity the substance has for humans, and then the other kind of information that's available in here. If you ever get a job in a laboratory or in a chemical company or are using any of these types of substances, then these safety data sheets are really important to know how to read and use as a reference. All right. So section 1, blah, 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 not very interesting. Okay, section 2, hazards identification. So we can find how the person is going to get exposed to this molecule and which of those exposure routes are going to cause toxicity. So this is arsenic, and it has acute toxicity oral if it's ingested with food. It has acute toxicity inhalation. Now, where we get exposed to arsenic, it's a solid. So typically, if it becomes a powder or a dust and that is inhaled, if it gets on the skin, it's going to cause irritation. If it gets into the eyes, it's also going to cause irritation. It's also a carcinogen. All right, so there's some environmental information that's aquatic hazard. Here, we're not worrying about that for this assignment, but if you are looking into environmental hazards for the wildlife, not just for humans, then this information is going to be in some of the safety data sheets. All right, we get more detail on that if we keep scrolling. Section 3 is some more information about the product itself. And then we're going to get into the section that's really the safety part. So the first aid measures, the firefighting measures in section 5 and 6, accidental release measures, right? So how to respond if this is accidentally spilled, handling and storage so that it stays safe, people don't get exposed, and section 8, exposure controls or personal protection. This is how you, if you're using this substance, this is what you need to do to say stay safe from exposure to it. So what PPE you need, gloves, mask, whatever. All right. We have some more sort of physical and chemical information in section 9. right? We're going to keep scrolling. We haven't gotten to the toxicity data yet. It's near the end. Some more information in section 10 on chemical reactions, and finally in section 11, toxicological information. This first section, 11.1, is where we're going to find the number that you're looking for this assignment, acute toxicity. And it lists here LD50 oral mice, and then it has a value here in milligrams per kilograms. So an LD50 is the lethal dose 50, or it's the amount of the substance when fed orally to mice that half of the test subjects died when they had that amount. It's a very crude measure of toxicity, but it's a standardized protocol for doing the tests. And then again, we're testing on mice. We aren't feeding arsenic to humans and seeing if they die on purpose, which we'd need to do for it to be scientifically credible data. All right, so we're using mice instead of people, and we know that there's differences in how toxic chemicals affect mice compared to humans, right? So these values are an estimate of how toxic a molecule is based on a very specific set of circumstances, and these numbers are used in a very specific way to give us some idea of relative potential toxicity for humans. There may be more information in the toxicity section on different study organisms, rabbits, guinea pigs, and then that information about the ecological toxicity. We have tests on fish, on Daphnia, aquatic invertebrates. So we have that information in here if there is any. All right, that brings us almost to the end of the safety data sheet. And that is the most important thing you need from these for your assignment is this section 11.1 and the LD50.